Steve, where do I start? That is one of the most frequent questions that I get from members and guests. So I decided to create a simple checklist that you can use to evaluate your investment plan and what the next step is. So in our program, we have returns that you can get that are sometimes 40% a year or more, and we even have some over 100% per year. But is jumping into those opportunities the right next step for you? So first of all, we'll start by figuring out where you should be taking advantage of. For example, the first step is get your free money. If you work for a company and they have a 401k plan and they match, take advantage. Contribute whatever you need to make sure that you're taking full advantage of any match, any free money that your employer is giving you. So that's the first step. Second, take advantage of tax-favored money. Again, participate in a 401k if you can. Otherwise, contribute to an IRA, preferably a Roth. So this year, 2024, you can contribute up to $7,000 to a Roth or a traditional IRA if you're under age 50. You can contribute up to $8,000 if you're over age 50. And those are the amounts if you are single and make less than $123,000, or if you file your taxes jointly and make under $230,000. So about 80% of Americans do qualify to make full contributions to their IRA. So I encourage you to take advantage of that. That's the second step. So far, pretty easy, right? So the third step, set up your emergency savings account. Honestly, you should use a separate bank account that's different than where you have your main checking account. The reason is it's too easy if they're in the same bank to just go online and move money over out of your emergency account and spend it. So by putting it into a separate bank account, you resist that temptation and you're more likely to let those emergency funds sit there for a true emergency as opposed to just some whim that you decide you want to spend a little bit more money on. So with that said, you may want to take advantage of some of the online banks because a lot of them have higher savings rates for those savings accounts. So take a look, set up an online savings account that's separate from your main bank account. And that's the third step you want to take in this simple process. The fourth step is to set up a separate checking account for your investments. Okay? This is only for your investments. You want to keep that passive cash flow that comes in every month separate from the normal checking account where you pay your expenses, your utilities, your rent or mortgage, your groceries, all that sort of stuff. Keep those separate. Okay? Too many times I've seen people start to increase their passive cash flow with smart investing only to have that cash flow go into their normal checking account and get spent. Okay? If it is in your regular checking account, you'll find a way to spend it. It's just too easy. So instead, put it in a separate account. And if it's in that separate checking account, you're more likely to keep it there and then reinvest that passive cash flow into more investments, and keep that growing. The fifth thing you should do is create your allocations. Most people make budgeting too hard. This is the easy way. Take a look at your income and allocate a percentage of it. Again, this is your net after-tax take-home pay. Allocate a percentage of it to savings, a percentage of it to investing, and then allocate a percentage of it to your ordinary monthly expenses. So, for example, every time you get paid, automatically move 10% to your savings account and 10% over to your investing account. Seriously, use the automatic tools that are in your bank account and automate the process so you don't even have to think about it. That greatly increases the likelihood that you're going to stick with it and have success. The sixth step is to create your investment portfolio and investment schedule. Start with a list of what you have now in your investments. So just create a list of what you want to have in your investment portfolio. You may have seen our video on the Bulletproof Portfolio where we show you how we utilize a 6x6 grid. So we show you how to diversify across 6 different markets, and within each of those markets, how to diversify 6 deep so that you've got great diversification and protection in your portfolio. That's just one example of how you could design the portfolio that you want to have. So once you have a list of what you have now and what you want to have, then you create a schedule of what you will invest in. And by looking at those two different things, it's easy to figure out what needs you need to fill. simply create the next few investments in order of priority. It could be something like this. Invest in ABC fund as soon as I have $5,000 available in my account. Invest in this agriculture as soon as I have $10,000 in my account. And then maybe invest in XYZ dividend fund every month for the next 6 months. Something like that, where you've got a schedule so that every time money hits your separate investment checking account, that you know exactly what you're going to do with it, and then you just execute, and that's it. By doing that, you have a map of which investments you will buy and when. We show people how to diversify their passive cash flow across 6 different markets. And like I said, half of those markets are earning 40% a year or more, and then we show them how to go 6 deep so they have diversification within each of those 6 markets. But some people get intimidated by the thought of managing 36 cash flowing assets. But it's much simpler than that. For example, we utilize a lot of agriculture. With agriculture, you make one purchase, one time, and then annually, the company will direct deposit right into your investment checking account your passive cash flow. Very simple, very little to do on your part. With real estate, kind of the same thing. Perhaps you make 6 purchases, you have 6 of those assets in your portfolio, but you've got a property manager who makes one deposit into that checking account, that investment checking account, every month. It's very simple. And so setting these up properly really makes it pretty easy. And again, stocks, maybe you've got a Fidelity account. Well, you may have 6 different assets within there. Maybe it's different dividend funds, for example, but it's all in one account, but it's diversified. Very simple. So don't be intimidated when you think, oh my gosh, 36 different assets all giving me passive cash flow. It's very simple to manage. Okay. So you get the idea. Automate everything you can. And it is pretty simple to manage a diverse portfolio with passive cash flow. If you want more help designing your portfolio or getting access to some of those great investments, please go to unbrokeninvesting.com and become a member. Thanks and live richly.